Hello, welcome pen friends. It's time for the December Chris's Inked Pens. It's actually overtime. I mean, it's beyond past time. December seems to have started without me, but because I was really delayed this month, it's already December 6th and I'm just now getting around to this. But as many of you know, I'm adopting a kitty and it was very unexpected. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. But I have 7 pens here that I have inked up, plus my Serendipity that I'll show you what nib I have on it. And I'm going to show you a whole bunch of inks that I'll be rotating samples to write with. But these 7 are inked up for this month. So let's just dive right in. First of all, I'm giving my Pilot Vanishing point another go. I found an ink that I think is working super well in here, and I'm kind of surprised I hadn't already used it. But this is with a medium nib, and it's the Gunmetal gray. And we'll talk about inks as soon as I start writing with the pens. But this is my most expensive pen that I bought, and I have had fussiness about trying to find an ink that went with it, and I may have found it. So there's that. And then this is one of my Moonman mini Wancais, and it's got a purple ink in it, but we'll go into detail here in a minute. And this one has a fine nib. So this is the clear edition of this pen. It's one of my favorites, but I really need to use these 2 up because as we go under the wire for toward 2020, the new year, I'd like to have everything completely used up and cleaned out. So what I mean is I really would like to naturally use up all the ink in these 2. This one, it's almost gone. So actually, I hope I have enough in there to do the writing tonight, but hopefully I will. So this is the green swirl edition of the Moonman mini Wancai. And it's got a broad Goulet nib on it. So we'll look at that and we'll look at the ink that's in it in a few minutes. Okay, and then this is my Kaweco Sport, one of the first pens that I got. So all 3 of these are eyedroppered. And this is eyedroppered, and it's got a really exciting ink in it that I can't wait to try out. I've been writing with it just a little bit today. So this has a medium Kaweco nib on it that I worked on. It came with baby's bottom, so I did work on that one, and it's great now, but okay. And then here we go again. I realized I'm using some pens that I've been using. My rotation wasn't all that thorough this time, but I'm having a kind of a challenging time right now, and I don't want to challenge myself further, I guess, by using pens I'm not sure of. So here's the Diplomat Magnum again with a medium nib, and I'm ongoing. These are my 2 journal pens. This will be for the CVS Caliber notebook because it's a wet writer, has like I said, a medium nib, and it's just a daily workhorse for me. And same with this one. This is a TWSBI Go with a medium nib, and it's going to be my bullet journal for December, a workhorse pen. And these 2 are inked with the same ink, and so are these 2. So it's a little bit strange this month, but you know, I thought, why make things complicated? If that's what I want, that's what I want. So anyway, so then I decided to get out the Montblance. This was a gift a couple of years back from pen friend Wayne. It's the small one. It's the Montblance 145 Misterstuck Classique, something like that, with a nice medium nib on it. A little bit soft, but not really flexible, but it's a really nice pen. Then I've got an interesting ink in there that I'll show you. And then this is my Serendipity hybrid. It's a fountain pen, dip pen combination. It's got a regular fountain pen and nib on it. It's got a Goulet 1.1 stub right now. Because what I found was I didn't want to ink up a couple dozen pens, but I'd like to try several different inks for my Christmas cards that I'm doing. So I thought, well, why not just put the nib I'm wanting to use on the Serendipity and make it simple for myself? Because there's enough extra work right now and complications with the new baby in the house. four-legged fur baby. So these are the pens, and I think what we'll do next, I'll write with them. But I did want to show you first, before we do that, I will just kind of run through the 5 basic inks that I'm working with. The first one is Bungubox Lemon. And so I'm just going to lay these out, then we'll look closer. And then this is Robert Oster Tranquility. So basically these are the inks that I really wanted to play with this month. It makes no sense. You'd think it'd be red, green, whatever, but that's me, I guess. I'm just funny. This is the Diamine Alexandrite, the collaboration with Niche Pens. Thanks to Pen Friends, I've got nice samples of that, both in the shimmer and the regular. And this is just the regular. It has a lot of red sheen, but it's not the shimmer one. And then Diamine Earl Grey, that you can probably guess, those are my workhorse notebook inks. I've got it in 2 pens. And then I wanted to try this one, Rohrer Klingner Morinda. I really love Rohrer Klingner. I think it's going to go really well in that last pen I showed you, the Montblance. So anyway, those are the inks. And then we'll also look at the very end at the ink samples that I'll be writing with, you know, testing out and everything. But there we go. And I've got my notebook all ready to go. I think I'll use this thing so things don't fall down. Maybe a little awkward, but we'll get through it. So when I get done writing in these new ones, we'll flip back. I've got a page marker here on the last time I did this in November, and I'll give the report card. So let's see if I don't know, I'll try to get it close enough for you to see and hopefully keep track of. So here goes. Here's the first one. This is the Pilot Vanishing Point with a medium nib. Let's see. I'm gonna make sure I leave plenty of room because I don't want to run out. And this has got that that beautiful Bungubox Lamont in it. So Pilot, whoops. Vanishing Point. Medium. And Bungubox. Little L. A-M-A-N-T. Lamont. Okay, and we'll see if I can get a little skid mark there. Whoops. Oh, that's funny. Let's try again. Yeah, so that's a really, really pretty ink. It's just gorgeous. It's one of my favorites, and it's my birthday month. I just really want to look at my favorite ink, I guess. So there we go. I have been super, super happy so far with this. Okay, and I have been quite a while working with it in this little pen. So it's interesting that it would be, you know, I've doubled up on ink in 2 pens, but that's just kind of the way it landed. I really want to use this up, the ink. I don't want to dump it back in the sample. It's been too long in here. So this is Moonman, Mini, Wancai. I can never remember which goes first, but it's there. Fine nib. This is the stock nib that came on it. It's quite nice for notebooks and note-taking because it doesn't bleed through hardly anything, so that's really nice. Bungubox. Lamont. Okay, these are really, really favorite pens of mine. Although I have to admit, with the Vanishing Point, just being able to click it and not have to screw to post and everything, that's really, really nice. So here's my second Moonman Mini Wancai, the green swirl. Okay, and this is one of my favorite inks too. This is the, oh, did I not? Yeah, I got it. Robert Oster Tranquility, one of my very favorite inks. So, Moonman. And I was so proud of myself when I managed to get the nib off without damaging anything and change it for a broad nib. That was some time ago, but I'm still happy with it. Broad. Robert Oster. I just love this ink. It shades so nicely, and Bungubox Lamont does too. Tranquility. I hate to tell you how long this has been actually inked up, and you can see that it's almost gone. I mean, it's really running out, but that's good. That's what this month is going to do. I'm going to clean it all out, and I'll choose another ink to use in it. Oops, I meant to do the little test there. Yeah, well, that's a really wet writer. Of course, that's a broad nib, too. Let's go back and see on this one. That's why I like doing the smear test, because I can kind of see how wet the nib is. Or isn't. Whoops, well, you can see there's even a difference there. Definitely a difference with this nice broad nib. Okay, so here's the Kaweco Ice Sport in the blue. And I love this. It has a great ink capacity when it's eyedroppered like this. And it's been a very reliable pen. Okay, and in here we've got this gorgeous Diamine Alexandrite. The collaboration between Diamine and Niche pens. Oh, it's just gorgeous. And two pen friends sent me samples. I've got their initials on the other slip. But anyway, I'll be reviewing this, and then I'll be able to give full credit where it's due there. I really appreciate, you know who you are, and thank you so much for the samples. So, Kaweco Ice Sport medium nib. It's a really nice wet writer. I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but I ended up managing to be able to do it very carefully. When, you know, smooth the baby's bottom and everything. Diamine Alexandrite. Oh, it's just beautiful. It's got such, oh wow, that's really nice. I think that attests to the ink and the nib and pen. It's a nice wet writer for a medium. My goodness, it's more like a, it's really a lot like the broad up above it, so that's pretty cool. Okay. Okay, so now we're getting into the two workhorse pens that I'll be using in my journals. This will go in the CVS caliber notebook mainly, because it's such a wet writer that it does well on that paper that can dry, make things kind of dry, but it just works really well. I don't really like to post this one. Okay, and again, this is a really wet medium nib, so it's the Diplomat Magnum medium nib. And this is, well, Diamine Earl Grey. Earl Grey. And this is what I'm, you know, currently trying to focus right in on this gray again and see. It seems a little dark for me, but it's a gorgeous ink. It's just that it tends toward, not black, but it, compared to the other Iroshizuku inks, the Pilot inks, it does tend to be pretty dark. And I want to see, am I going to be happy with that? You know, I could get a big bottle of that, or I could end up getting a Pilot ink later next year when things are ironed out. So this is the second pen, the TWSBI Go with a medium nib. This will be my primary bullet journal pen for December. You know, I use a lot of color too, but this is all for my listing, and then I do highlights with the other pens. TWSBI Go medium nib. I really like this because so far it hasn't even bled through in the Leuchtturm journal, so that's wonderful. It's much drier than the Magnum, and that's okay. That works to my advantage in that Leuchtturm bullet journal. Okay, so let's see here. I think you'll be able to see from this. Well, maybe not. You know, it's still a nice, decent nib and everything. It's wet, but it is a little bit finer of a line. Okay, so then the last inked pen is the Montblanc 145 Misterstuck Classique. That was a pen friend Wayne sent me a couple of years ago now. It's been a long time. So this is that Rohrer Klingner ink that we looked at. Rohrer Klingner Morinda. It's a red, and it's really interesting. It's kind of, I thought it might be nice for this month. I mean, that was my one, like, real Christmassy ink that I decided to go with, you know, not in the dip pen. So this is Montblanc 145. We'll put MC because I know what it is. And it's a medium nib. And it's nice and soft, but it's not terribly flexible. So Rohrer Klingner Morinda. Oh, you're still getting to see that? Yeah, okay, that's good. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a, whoop, there we go. Okay, so that's everything. Let's see. Make it, whoops, oh dear. I'm gonna make you dizzy. I don't want to do that. Okay, so that's everything. And then we will look at this pen. We'll talk about this just for a minute. This is the Serendipity hybrid fountain pen dip pen with the 1.1 Goulet stub, and I'll be using it for, you know, letter writing and pen pal writing. With some of them will be Christmas cards and some will just be letter replies. And what I have for that, I have a whole bunch of inks I want to try. So let's look at those real quick, and then we'll look back on last month, kind of get a report card from last time. Whoops. Okay, I don't need this anymore, I don't think. No. At least for now. Okay, so I've got this little stadium thing. It's like a Dollar Tree item. Let's see, what a mess. And what I have is some inks that have just come in from Pen Friends, and I've got them all swatched here. And I thought we'd just go through them and just look. And I want to say a big thank you too. Some of these have been around a while. Monteverde Passion Burgundy was one that I pulled out for this month. It's a nice deep maroon with, it looks like gold sheen. And that was Pen Friend KS. And then, oh, here's the, so I can give credit on that. Diamine Alexandrite, the collaboration between Diamine and Niche Pens. That was Pen Friend BF and Pen Friend MW. So I've got enough to use a little bit and do a review, which is kind of rare. So that, I thank you so much. That made that possible. And then here is one that I want to do too. It's Birmingham Pens Cement City Opal Basil. It's a purple, and I thought that would be really pretty. Okay. So, you know, there's all these, and it's a lot. That's why I wanted to use the pen that I can just rinse out, because it's a busy enough month without me having, you know, 60 pens to clean out before January 1st. Here's Monteverde Topaz. This was just sent to me as part of a Christmas gift from Pen Friend SB, and it's a bright, nice orange. It's so pretty. And then here is Monteverde Blue Velvet Cake, a really pretty blue. Let's see, I don't know if we're seeing it right, but that's another one from Pen Friend SB. And then I've got a whole bunch that were sent by the same Pen Friend. Diamine Kelly Green is a really nice, bright green from Pen Friend MA. Thank you very much if you're watching. And then here's Diamine Sargasso. I'm not sure. I think that's how you say that. A beautiful blue with some very interesting sheen going on. I can't wait to try to profile that one. That'll be fun. And then Diamine China Blue. That's beautiful. And I detect a little bit of red sheen there. Diamine Cult Pens Deep Dark Orange. Ooh, that's right up my alley. I can't wait to try that one. Can you see why I wanted to have the pen I could clean out real easy? And then Pelican Brilliant Red. Wow, that's really brilliant, isn't it? And it's got like yellow almost sheen, or gold. That's cool. Oh, Platinum Carbon. So these are all in together that were all from this Pen Friend, and they're all right here. And then Diamine Monaco Red. Gee, that almost reminds me of the Rohrer Klingner Morinda. Kind of, not quite. So that's why I'm playing around with the Serendipity. The Serendipity is not getting quite as much use now that my review pen lineup has changed. And that's going to be reflected, I think, when I do my annual 5 top pens. I think that Serendipity got bumped this year, but I'm not going to spoil the surprise on which pen managed to do that. You'll have to wait just a few days before I do that video. So let's go back to last month. This is November 2019, and I'll try to position this and make it just a little bigger. Let's see. Okay, well, that'll catch the top, and then at the bottom we'll have to move it. But okay, so at the top we had Lamy Safari with a broad nib with fair swirl pressed Tanzanite Sky. That got an A. That was really, really nice. I wrote many letters. I wrote it dry, no problems. The next one was TWSBI Eco with a medium nib, Pilot Shizuku Fuyu Shogun. That's that, something to do with winter. It has a sort of a blue tinge. I really like it. I gave it an A. It was excellent in my bullet journal. It wasn't exactly quite as neutral as Diamine Earl Grey, believe it or not. So, you know, it tended to clash with certain colors just a little bit, but it still was gray and very beautiful. I love it. Then the next one, the Diplomat Magnum with the broad nib, the one that's kind of like waiting for my birthday next week. I had KWZ Hawaii Blue. That got A++. Oh, I hated to clean that pen, but true to my word, as soon as I emptied it, I cleaned it out and it saved it because that was from my husband for my birthday. So best, that was a superior ink and nib match. Okay, next was TWSBI Go with a broad nib. The TWSBI 1791 Royal Purple. I don't think one bottle of that's going to be enough, but of course I always say that when I fall in love with a purple ink. It's just a gorgeous ink, and I wouldn't think that I would give it an A++ because it isn't really all that much of a shader, but it's just such a gorgeous purple, and it flows out of that TWSBI like it was just meant for that. So that was just excellent. I couldn't ask for a better match, and I will be using that again in that exact same pen. Then the Lamy Safari with a fine nib with the Noodler's Heart of Darkness. I gave it a B because it was good and it was fine, but I just didn't use it much. I kept grabbing my Preppy, and I'm not sure why. So I'll just have to slow down and think about that a little. There wasn't anything really wrong with it, but I kept grabbing the Platinum Preppy, and maybe because I've smoothed that Preppy nib to a, such a buttery smooth. So, okay, then next was TWSBI Go 1.1, and that was the smoke color TWSBI with Pilot Iroshizuku Yamabudo. That was excellent. I gave it an A+. And I made a note, get more eventually. Yes, because I'm working off sample on that, and it's about gone. It may be gone now. So that was great, and I'm beginning to realize I really like those Pilot inks. Then Heinz Blue Storm with a 1.1 stub that came off of the Retro 51 Tornado. I put Diamine 150th Anniversary Safari ink, and it got a C. It felt too dry. Something was not right, and it was odd. So that needs further exploration. I don't think it's the nib. I've used that nib and had excellent results, so I'll look into that some more. The Diplomat Magnum with the medium nib, that was the red Diplomat. With the Diamine Autumn Oak, it was way too dry with that, so I immediately changed it to KWZ Thief's Red. That was too dry, so I changed it to Diamine Red Dragon, and I had really good luck with that. So actually, I probably should amend that grade, but I'll keep it there for now because it did get a C as far as the Autumn Oak, but then it probably moved all the way up to an A- with the Diamine Red Dragon. Okay, then Diplomat Magnum Medium, the gray one with Noodler's Lexington Gray, was absolutely phenomenal. It was excellent for my daily CVS caliber notebook. And I ran out of the Lexington Gray, but that's on my list. As soon as we get channel money later in December, I'm going to order a bottle of that. I'll use a lot of it. So TWSBI Go Medium. Okay, so I also had the Lexington Gray last month loaded into the TWSBI Go with the medium nib. Oh, I need to say that when the Noodler's Lexington Gray was in the Magnum, it bled through the Leuchtturm, but it didn't bleed through the CVS caliber. So I did get along with the TWSBI Go Medium with the Noodler's Lexington Gray. So yeah, it was a little bit of a trick there. This is a drier nib that Magnum just puts out the ink like a fire hose. So okay, yeah, we already talked about this. And then TWSBI Diamond 580 with a medium nib with Pilot Iroshizuku. Oh, you can't see that. I'm so sorry. Let me lift that up. Hello? Okay, so with the TWSBI Diamond 580 medium with the Fuyu Shogun, it bled through the Leuchtturm, and I was surprised about that. And that was my whole purpose was to. Okay. Manuel had a phone call. So, because this bled through the Leuchtturm paper, it wasn't meeting my purposes except for letter writing, but I don't do a whole lot of gray with letter writing. I just did some. So that just didn't quite work out for me, but it was, it was really pretty and nice. I really wanted to use it in my bullet journal. So, okay, so that's that. I got one more thing, I think. Well, maybe 2 or 3, I don't know. I did some splatters with that Bungubox Lamont, my favorite ink. And they were kind of neat, and it showed some of the sheen that came through. It was just gorgeous. It almost like a gold sheen. I'm trying to show it. Oh, it's so hard this time of day. You just can't get it perfect lighting, I guess, but let's go ahead and... Okay, so this Pilot Vanishing Point, I purchased it in February of 2018, and at one point I almost sold it because I just thought, this isn't what I was disappointed at first, but it was a really bad time too, because when I think back, it was in March, that very following month, that my senior cat, Tony, died very unexpectedly, and I had already one senior cat sick. Things were just nuts. So when I look back, and I went through every single one of my currently inked books to see which inks I had tried, and I really had only tried 6 inks in that pen. So that told me, well, you're just not done. So that's why I've been using it quite a bit and putting different inks in, and I'm finding I really like the pen, but it needs to have a specific ink for me to be happy with it. And this is definitely a match. I can use this. So now I just wanted to mention it in case, anybody else was looking for an ink that might pair up really well with the Vanishing Point Medium. And so that's that. Okay, 2 more small things, because I know it's toward the end here, and so I'll leave the update on Coco for last, but I wanted to say that I got overwhelmed this week, and I'm not keeping up with my challenge, or it's not my challenge, it's Bree's challenge at Documented Journey, but it's this beautiful Create December challenge, and I kind of started strong. The first prompt was not family, it was traditions, and I had fun doing that, and then the next one was mistletoe. And I love doing these ink splatters. And then the next one was family on the 3rd. And then, boom, things just, I on the 4th, which is now the 6th. So what I'll do is just tomorrow, I'll do tomorrow's. I won't try to catch up 3 or 4 days. It's just been really busy. So that leads me to my final subject. But I love this notebook, and even with the writing, it's worked to write right in it with my inks and everything, with fountain pen ink. So the book is nice, and it's just that there's been a lot of pressure because the new kitty. Okay, so this is the little kitty Coco that we are trying to adopt very unexpectedly. It was homeless, lost, separated from the mama, and it's only about 12 weeks now. So he got sick this week, and he had to go really suddenly to the vet, but he's fine. He doesn't have worms or anything. He was very, very healthy. He's on a prebiotic. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I think I was overfeeding him or allowing him to eat too much, and it was all good. The vet was like, it's okay, everything's fine. So now he has a vet, but he also, I was very lucky, and he's got an appointment for next week to be neutered and get the rest of his tests and everything. He'll be completely all set next Thursday, because I got with a local rescue outfit called the Cattery, and he's all signed up. So, and he seems really well today, but he just had one day of really being awfully sick, and it scared me. And they're so little, they can't go without eating, and if they are sick, it's very extreme. So anyway, that's, challenge is not as important as the kitty, and my own health too. I don't want to pressure myself. So I kind of hope you enjoyed this. The pens are some of my old standbys, because I guess I just didn't need to add any stress to myself. There are several of the pens that I have I really want to test out and try, but right now is not the time, I guess, for me fiddling with ones that I don't know whether they write. I know that every single one of these writes, and so the only variable is the beautiful inks, and how these inks will do in these pens over the course of the month, the rest of the month, and all those beautiful ones that I'll try in the Serendipity. So maybe this inspires you to, to write more, or to write or test out something, and I'll be kind of preparing for the new year by getting everything written dry and cleaned out, and it's going to be great. It'll be a nice fresh start for the new year. I've got all kinds of ideas of simplifying, and I'm really excited about it. So that meant not getting too carried away this month. 7 pens, and then my little one that's so easy to clean. And that's what I'm doing. So thank you very much for joining me here on this video. Oh my gosh, 30 minutes. But I will see you on the next one. And I do apologize for not providing as much content lately as I'm used to doing. I have found myself sort of like juggling and slightly overwhelmed, just to be honest. But I think with a new kitty and with Christmas and my birthday next week and just everything, that's what it is. It's not that the joy of doing the videos is gone at all. It's just that there's a lot going on, and I have a tendency to forget to slow down, but I'm slowing down right now. I'm really consciously slowing down. I want to have the joy of my pens, but not overdo it. So have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.